Do you have a gray sofa and you don't know what to do with it now? This is a common thing that I am seeing a lot lately. Maybe you purchased a sofa. Now you're looking at this gray sofa and thinking, what am I going to do with this? You leaned in hard to that millennial gray. You painted the walls, you did the floors, and you bought the sofa. And now everything feels cold, and we've moved into a more warm and earthy palette, and you're wondering, what does this mean? Do I have to start all over again? Well, you're in luck. The answer is no. Today, I want to talk about some easy ways that you can add some life, some personality, and some color to your room with the gray sofa. Yes, you heard me right. We don't have to get rid of the gray sofa. We can work with it. So, we're going to look at some different palettes that might be the answer to this gray sofa dilemma that you're having. The first palette that I want to talk about is something that feels rich. It feels sophisticated, a little bit maybe inspired by my top. Some of the colors we're seeing back here is adding this color we're seeing a lot of right now, which is that deep, rich oxblood, wine color, burgundy, everything in that family. It just oozes sophistication. It feels sexy. It feels warm and rich. And maybe you want to add that into your room. Here's a palette that might work for you. Very simple. We're going to keep that gray sofa and we're going to add in that oxblood. And then to complement it, we're going to keep the palette really simple. And we're going to go with just adding in some similar colors. So we're going to add in a beautiful, rich mauve, a blush pink. These colors together feel harmonious. They feel timeless, rich, like I said, very sophisticated, perfect for maybe your living space where you entertain. It just ultimately always comes together and looks beautiful. So don't be afraid to mix in those elements. If you're looking for a little bit more of a pop, add in a pattern. Maybe it's going to be a black and white or a soft, like an animal print, something to just give it a little bit more life, even like this pattern you see behind me would look beautiful, but just have some fun with it and don't feel limited by the gray sofa. For the wall color, I would say you've got so many options depending on what the layout is of your house. But you could go just with a soft white. It could be a little bit more into like a greige tone. Keep it soft, keep it light, and then allow all the elements in the room. We're talking about throw cushions, accent chairs, get a gorgeous rug that really grounds the space in this color palette, and you won't be sorry. So that's number one. Number two is leaning into that more earthy feel. So we're seeing lots of olive greens, we're seeing rustic terracottas, and your first instinct might be, I can't do that because I have a gray sofa. Again, you're in luck, you can. Now, this is all depending on the tone of your sofa. But the simple answer is yes, you can layer these colors in. Again, think about adding some pattern. That's where I think a lot of people fall off is they only focus on solid colors and we really want to see some pattern in there and then that's what is really speaking the language between the gray sofa and these other warmer elements that we're trying to add in that can break that up and give you a better flow. So that's the second one. The third one is probably one that people go to most often, which is to add in some type of blue. Often blue looks gorgeous with gray, but think about layering it a little bit more. Maybe don't go for that bright aqua or teal or the standard navy that you see so much of. Try a deep teal, which is very sophisticated, and pair that with like an icier blue and layer those together with some soft creams, and you can have a beautiful color combination. The last one that I would say could be a winner for you is to actually add in chocolate brown. And that might surprise you. I know a lot of people think chocolate brown doesn't work with gray. It does. And there's a way to bring them together and create something really beautiful. Again, the key is that we want to layer the space. So if we're adding in chocolate browns, think about some prints that are maybe in some medium brown tones. The other thing we want to do to really soften that room and soften that gray sofa is add in some wood tones, add in some natural tones that was missing so much from our spaces when this whole millennial gray thing went loose on our homes. We saw so much chrome and glass and cold elements, and now we're just craving this warmer feeling. So think about warm tone wood, darker, rich tones. You can mix wood tones, add in a marble side table. Think about other elements that are going to add layer and texture to the space. And the most important thing is everything doesn't need to match. We don't want suites of furniture that are all the same. The wall color is just a backdrop to the space. So if you have a gray sofa, you do not need gray walls. Think about lightening that up, and that's going to give you a fresh new perspective on your gray sofa. Good luck, and I hope that this helps you to spark some new ideas for your gray sofa.